What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Casper here. I have two beautiful traps for you guys that you can try out against anyone, especially strong players. One trap in the king's pawn game and another one in the Sicilian defense that I guess you've never seen before. So let me begin with something that may be new to your eyeballs. So you start with pawn to e4 and black responds with c5. While there are quite a number of moves that you can play in this position, have you ever thought of this? Yep, bishop b5 right away. Now this move is a multi-purpose psychological move, you guys. First of all, you're provoking black to play a6 and later on pawn to b5 very early in the opening stage. And secondly, in case of knight c6, which is the second most played move in the Lichess database, you're simply going to take that knight and mess up black's pawn structure on the queen side. But first, let's start with a6. So what I want you to do is to play bishop c4, inviting pawn to b5, you guys, which is the top played move once again. And this is when you surprise your opponent by playing bishop d5, attacking the rook on a8. Now once again, if knight c6, you know what to do, bishop takes, but first let me show you an interesting line after rook s7, the second most played move. You guys, it's time for you to guess an equalizing move for black in this position. Well, hats off to your eyeballs if at all you found this move. Bishop takes f7 and that's check. The king has to take, then you go queen h5 check. If king f6 doesn't mate on f5, and again if king e6, you can simply go queen d5 check and once again mate on f5. But if black chooses to block the check with his pawn, you simply go queen e5, attacking the rook on h8, and the top played move is bishop g7. But oops, it was about the knight, and now you just made black to lose his right to castle and of course take him out of his Sicilian theory. Anyways, so after bishop d5 attacking the rook on a8, if black plays knight c6, you simply mess up black's pawn structure on the queen side. And let me tell you one trick in the Sicilian, you guys. Black wants to castle short. So you first of all go pawn to d3. We are going to start expanding all of our pawns like crazy, you guys. Pawn to e5, the top played move, you simply go pawn to f4. If black does nothing about your f4 pawn, for example bishop d6, you simply go pawn to f5. You just keep on expanding with your pawns, you guys. Pawn to h6, involve your queen first before launching a kingside attack. Let's say queen c7, maybe they want to castle long now. You simply go g5, pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes. Black's knight is under attack and on the next move maybe you're going to win the g7 pawn. You guys, this is an amazing trick. Alright, let's say after pawn to e5 and f4, black doesn't play bishop d6 or any move to avoid your f4 pawn. Let's say they just go on and take that pawn. Well, you simply take back. If bishop d6, once again, you develop your queen with tempo so that if bishop takes, you take back with your queen. If knight f6, you go pawn to e5. If queen e7, there is this hanging rook on a8, you guys. So queen takes c6 check and next you're going to win the free rook on a8. Alright, let's go to trap number 2. Now that'll be in the Ruy Lopez. So after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and knight f6, the Berlin defense, well, you can simply castle short here, sacrificing your pawn on e4, so that if knight takes, you can now go pawn to d4. That's the key move, you guys. And here there's a little trick. If e takes d4, you simply go rook e1, pinning the knight to the king, and if d5, for example, this is bad for black already, you can go knight takes d4, and on the next move you are threatening to play pawn to f3 and win black's knight on e4. At worst, you just mess up black's pawn structure on the queen side by capturing on c6. So after pawn to d4, instead of e takes d4, black can also play knight d6, which is the top played move in this position, attacking the bishop. Now this is a crazy line, you guys, where you can just force a draw very quickly and go home. Let's say if you're not in the mood, right? So the move here is d takes e5, you guys, completely sacrificing your free bishop so that if knight takes, that was a temporary sacrifice because you have pawn to a4 and black's knight on b5 is nearly trapped, as you can see by the highlighted arrows. So if knight bd4, which is what they play, you simply take back your piece, and then knight takes d4, you take back with your queen, and this is where strong players play d5 immediately. But hey, you can just take with en passant, and after queen takes d6, this is the position where grandmasters end up repeating moves and agree to a draw. Very boring stuff. Now let's come to the quick recap of today's World Chess Championship match between Nepo and Ding Liren, which is the main reason why I decided to show you this Ruy Lopez trap today, because that's the opening that Nepo played in today's game 5 of the 2023 FIDE World Chess Championship, taking place in Kazakhstan. Now, skipping this video won't be a great idea for you guys, because I've noticed that you do not like learning serious chess from these guys. Anyways, so just a reminder, Nepo has got 2 points and Ding Liren has got 2 points. The first game was a draw. Game 2, Ding Liren lost. Game 3 was a draw. Game 4, Ding Liren won. And here we are in game 5 we are yet to discover. I have linked a playlist for this event in the description down below, or you can find it in the comment section. So Nepo with white pieces started with e4, then Ding played e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5. Then we see the Ruy Lopez, which I just finished presenting you guys. s6 is the main move, which Ding played, and Nepo played bishop a4. Now there's an interesting video that I made like 3 days ago, I think, or 4 days ago, where I was explaining why strong players don't play pawn to b5 on move 4 after bishop a4. It is a video full of traps, you guys, and I think it has just popped up in the card above. You can also find it in the comment section down below. Knight f6 is what Ding played, castle shot by Nepo, bishop e7, pawn to d3, defending the e4 pawn. Again, you can see that Nepo didn't take the pawn on e4 after Ding castled short because of the traps that I showed you in the introduction of this video. Remember those traps, they are very useful. So that's why Ding played bishop e7, and then Nepo played pawn to d3, now defending the pawn. b5, now this is the right time to play b5 because black has already developed his dark squared bishop and ready to castle short if anything. So bishop b3 was played and pawn to d6. c3, preventing knight d4 and also preparing for this pawn push. Then castle short, h3. Both players are playing an equal game. Bishop b7, pawn to a4. Yeah, because what else? Strong players like playing these sideline pawn moves as a way to gain initiative and maybe just to be ahead in development. Pawn to a4 is also kind of a prophylactic move. Anyways, knight a5, attacking the bishop, and Nepo didn't want to lose this bishop. Pawn to c5, expanding on the queen side, then bishop g5 by Nepo. Just a developing move because the bishop was doing nothing on c1. h6, then bishop takes. Oh, wait a second. There is still nothing wrong with bishop a4, but I guess Nepo just wanted to simplify the game. And after bishop takes, a takes b5, a takes b5. So you can see there's nothing much to analyze in today's game, but wait, you can still learn something because this is where I share some middle game strategies and other end game strategies. Knight bd2, a developing move, and knight c6, opening up the file for the rook. Bishop d5, so Nepo wants to exchange the rooks. Nothing much is happening in this game. So far, these guys are just playing for a draw. That's how it looks like. Rook e1. Why rook e1 if the pawn on e4 is already defended? Well, it's not about the e4 pawn, it's about the knight sitting on f1 and go to g3 later on. It's a strategy. Sometimes this knight can also sit on e3. So that's why rook e1 is important. Rook a e8 was played. Then queen d1, bishop d8, knight f1, just like I said. Knight e7 by Ding. The idea is just to simplify the game. After bishop takes and queen takes, now there comes knight e3. You see what I was talking about earlier on, you guys. So these are some strategies to learn from. Trust me, the game is very much equal and there's nothing interesting here. Bishop b6, pawn to h4, and trust me, you guys, with bishop b6, it looks like black can just play pawn to c4 and gain some initiative. No, that'll just be a free pawn. You might think the e4 pawn is hanging, but black is just going to lose the free bishop because there is no way black can defend it with his queen, not to mention that our rook is also attacking the queen. So this is just dead equal and there's just nothing that black can do here. And that's why Nepo comfortably played pawn to h4 here. Maybe thinking of going pawn to g4 and g5, I don't know. Anyways, queen c6 was played, just a prophylactic move, I guess. pawn to h5, and there's this idea of putting the f knight on h4 and later on planting it on f5. You remember this idea which I talked about in my previous recap, you guys. That's why Nepo played pawn to h5. c4, there we see this move, but there's just d4 this time. Yeah, quite alright. D takes c4 was also an option, but Nepo tried to trick Ding Liren in this position. The idea is that if Ding goes for this free pawn, now Nepo can do a little discovery with knight takes c4, attacking the queen and also the bishop. Even if Ding defends the bishop, well, Nepo could have just taken, and after queen takes, Ding was going to lose some material in this position. Nepo was going to be a pawn up with a very good position. And that's why after pawn to c4 and d4, Ding Liren did not take on e4. Instead, he took on d4. With his e-pawn, the game is still equal, technically speaking. Knight takes d4, then queen c5. This is a committal move. Queen b7 was much stable. Anyways, queen g4. Now Nepo has some initiative, you guys. So queen e5, knight f3, queen e6, knight f5. This is a very good combination by Nepo because now the rook is defended in case of knight takes and e takes, which is what happened in the game. Now Ding's queen is under attack, but the game is still dead equal, you guys. If only Ding can play a non-committal move, queen d7. But he played queen f6, again a committal move. So clearly Ding doesn't want a draw. With this move, he just wants to fight, playing with his queen, trying to force things. Queen e4 was played anyways, attacking the rook, then rook b8, rook e2, a waiting move, bishop c5, g4. Now maybe we are yet to see something here. Queen d8, queen d5, king f8, and pinning the pawn, and now king f1. Yeah, but now, in the eyes of Stockfish, Nepo has a slight advantage here of about 1.1. Anyways, so let's see if Nepo can convert this advantage. Rook c8 was played by Ding, then Nepo played rook e4. Now, I should mention to say that rook c8 was a dubious move by Ding. Stockfish wanted Ding to play queen c8. The idea is to trade off the queens, attacking the queen and also indirectly attacking the knight. But instead he played rook c8, losing a tempo because after Nepo played rook e4, now there are some issues to do with this rank. And I can already see a clear run sacrifice coming with an idea of putting the rook behind the pawn to support knight takes maybe in the near future. Not to mention that after pawn to g4, Nepo can play pawn to h6. Which is gonna be a big deal. So Ding should have played rook c8 on the previous move and try to force a queen exchange or just go for some lines that will force both parties to exchange queens. But rook e4 then rook b8 by Ding. Clearly white has an advantage here. Pawn to g5, just like I mentioned. This is called a clear and sacrifice, you guys. You clear the way for your other piece to sit on the square where the pawn was sitting. So rook g4 and rook a8. And ladies and gentlemen, position is 7.5. In a blink of an eye, the game goes from equal to a clear win for white. That's just how crazy the game of chess can be. The game was very much equal up to somewhere around move 33 when Ding decided to start playing committal moves, trying to force things even when the game was already a draw from the word go. Anyways, instead of rook a8, it looks like pawn to f6 was going to hold on to the pawn, but knight h4. If Ding took on h4, Nepo was going to play pawn to h6, another clear and sacrifice, so that if gh, now there's a mate in 2 after queen g8 check, and after king e7, you go rook g7 checkmate. If black doesn't take on h6, and maybe let's say they play queen d7, the pawn promotes. If king e7, stopping the promotion, there's rook takes g7, the queen is dead. And here there's like a mate in 4, king d8, you first promote, then king c7, queen takes with check, king takes and rook takes d7, and Ding all of a sudden cannot stop this coming checkmate with his elbow. If not gh or queen d7, I mean, even if Ding plays g5, there's fg taking with en passant, queen d7 attacking the rook, but as g7 check, if king e8 the pawn promotes, and if king e7 the pawn still promotes. Rook takes, queen takes, and now there's like a mate in 8 here which cannot be stopped by anything. The pawn will promote. Well, this is just game over. So that's why after pawn takes and rook g4, Ding did not even bother to play pawn to f6 because of knight h4. which is why he played rook a8, knowing that he blundered earlier on. So that's a walk of shame. Knight takes g5. Nepo is about to mate on f7. Rook a1 check, a desperado move. King e2, a disrespectful bone cloud. I mean, king g2 was equally good. And even king e2, it doesn't even matter even if Ding plays queen e7 check, because Nepo can simply block the check, not with his fingers, but with a knight, and he still maintains the pressure. Anyways, Ding played queen e8. So Nepo again played the top engine move by Stockfish, king f3, unpinning his knight, and then queen a8 by Ding. See, this is when he is trying to exchange queens after it is too late, because now position is about 6.5 in favor of white. Queen takes a8, another Stockfish move. Rook takes a8 and f6. Taking the pawn on f6 would be worse, because now Nepo can just play knight takes f6 and then promote his h-pawn. There's absolutely nothing that Ding could have done here. Pawn to h6. This pawn was going to promote easily, which is why Ding never even bothered to take the pawn on f6. He played g6, then again Nepo understands that pawn to h6 will just make him lose his advantage, because Ding can easily hide his king on h8 or h7 in front of the pawn. So he took on g6, and after fg equals what else? Nepo took back on g6. So we see rook a2 by Ding, a desperado move, trying to fight a little bit. But it is just too late, you guys. After rook h6, Ding Liren resigned. For example, if king e8, Stockfish calculates something like a mate in 26 here, which I believe Nepo would have seen, or something like that. There's rook h8, king d7, pawn to f7, and nothing is going to stop this pawn from promoting. And instead of king e8, let's say king g8, well, Nepo would have played king f5, and maybe after bishop takes f2, a desperado move, there's knight g5, bishop e3, then f7 check. And once again, there was nothing that was going to stop this pawn from promoting into a queen, and there should be something like a mate into here if I'm not mistaken. So this was the game, you guys. I believe Ding lost this game because he wanted to force things. Because if you go back to somewhere like move 30, this game was a dead draw. This game was a draw according to Stockfish. Queen d7 maintaining the advantage and maybe closing up the position, going for a queen exchange, and maybe slowly getting into white's territory. But he just went for queen f6, trying to force things. So this queen became passive on this square. Ladies and gentlemen, the scores are now 3-2 in favor of Nepo. So Nepo has got 3 points and Ding has got 2 points. Tomorrow it will be round 6 and hope Ding will hit back, maybe. But I think the best that Ding can do tomorrow is just to draw. If he wants to win, in my opinion, he should go for the English opening once again, or maybe the Catalan, because that's where his strength is. I hope you enjoyed watching this recap, you guys. If at all you did, be sure to hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel if at all you haven't already. You can check the rest of the games in my playlist down below, or you can find the link for my playlist in the comment section. So until next time, bye bye.